Last map ended on Busan, and this one, well, last match ended on Busan. Excuse me, excuse-moi. This next one will begin on Busan. We have Moldy Milkers and MicroFish. Once again, another top of league versus bottom league situation. Moldy Milkers, one of the top contenders we have. MicroFish on the receiving end of being one of the worst teams we have in this league. So it's going to be probably another bloodbath, but MicroFish are one of those teams that, even though they are on the lower end of the league, they tend to take maps off of better teams when things get down and crazy, just because of Zen. I feel like Zen just creates these opportunities where they can win some random maps. But most of the time, MicroFish is the lowest tiered team. So we will look out for that Zen creating some tremendous value for this squad. If they can take a map off of Moldy Milkers, they might basically just secure Moldy Milkers as the number 2 seed in the playoffs. Obviously, MicroFish don't have a chance of making playoffs. They are eliminated, just like Krusty Crushers and Blazing Magi. Those are the only 3 teams eliminated at the moment, as Notif Unks and Logie Swords are fighting for the final position. And that matchup will decide who makes it in and who's going home, and I believe that is next after this one, and I can't wait for that one. It's going to be a huge decider. It's going to be the first real playoff-like match we have, and this is just domination. Moldy Milkers coming in, proving why they are our number 2 team in Never Back Down, just absolutely throttling MicroFish in that first fight. It's going to be hard to overcome them. Just such a dominant squad. Really hard to contend with. MicroFish coming in for another engagement here. I'm going to put that Discord Orb right on that hog. Don't think he's going to fall very quickly though, as he does get cleansed, and Zen is going to be the first to fall here, so Brig going down soon after. All you got left is Tracer and Genji, and they are not going to be doing much against these tanks. Yeah, this is a rough spot to be in if you are MicroFish. This is just Moldy Milkers asserting themselves as the number 2 squad in Never Back Down. Never Back Down has been a lot less competitive over the first 2 seasons than Get Good. Get Good has been one of the most highly competitive areas. There's always 3 teams in there that seem to be matching up quite well against each other. This season, Never Back Down is really only competitive between the top 2 squads. Every other squad has been quite throttled by those 2 teams, so not a lot of parity in this one. Very likely MicroFish will just be losing 3-0 here. Yes, man, it is just so hard to play into this Moldy Milker squad. The triple tank team has proven themselves as a top dog in this league. They're going to have to prove themselves against Rush Hour, I believe. Though, again, they already did it once, so when they face off against them in the playoffs, it's going to be a whole different story, though. 7 map, best of 7, so first of 4 maps will win. Could go either one's way. Will be no map selections, just like in regular season. It'll just be dependent on, can you get better RNG? Are you rolling into maps that you are better on than the enemy team? I don't recall. You did drop a map to Rush Hour, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. Maybe it was a 3-0. I can't remember. But this Moldy Milker squad is a force to be reckoned with, just like AI. But it does have its weaknesses. As we know, it did lose to AI. Its weakness is actually AI, in fact. So it's going to have to look out for that in playoffs. It might be weak to a team. Actually, I think it did beat Logie Swords pretty convincingly, so even that team won't necessarily be an issue. Really, the only team that might pose a threat to Moldy Milkers in playoffs is AI. So if they do match up against each other, it could spell disaster for this squad. Alright. I'm going to get in here onto this Genji. He is going to pick him off. Hog's going to find 2. And this is just looking like a 100-0, 100-0 situation. MicroFish barely even a threat in this one. Unfortunately for them, season's likely to go out with a whimper as they have to face the 2 top teams in their final day. Same story for Krusty Crushers. However, like I said, the next matchup is going to be an absolute banger. And it will decide a lot of things for playoffs. It's going to be the deciding match of who gets in. Will it be Logi Swords? Will it be Notif Unks? They are currently tied exactly in the standings. Right now, both teams are 5-4. I believe they both have a +4 map differential as well. I might have to recount the maps afterwards to make sure everything is correct. But if I have been doing my math correctly and been keeping track well enough, that is what they currently are at. So I'm the only person doing anything though, so hopefully it's right. Okay, Zen's gonna get grabbed here. However, Tracer able to find the Kiri. Maybe we could see a team 5 victory for... No, we won't. Oh, Genji. Okay, 2-on-2 on here on point, but going up against a Hog and a Rom versus Genji and Tracer just doesn't feel right. That is going to be it. 70% built on the clock for Moldy Milkers. MicroFish really struggling to get anything going here. Like I said, last season, Doomfist was not quite on a good team. It's on one of those struggle bus teams. Roadhog was the #1 overall draft pick this season. Moldy Milker's really proven why he is up here. He has been very good in this triple tank composition. Of course, like I said, they have their kryptonite though. There are teams that can beat the squad, so just going to be a matter of if they see them in playoffs. Moldy Milkers are going to win this first map very convincingly, 100-0, 100-0. Not giving much of a chance here to the slightly inferior squad. As we know, Moldy Milker's only 2 losses have come from AI. So, if you're in the Get Good division, you have to be very scared of this team, because this is the team that seems to just dominate anyone they come up against who's not AI. On the other hand, Moldy Milkers, if you match up against AI in the playoffs at all, it's going to be very rough to win in that situation. So, I do believe Moldy Milkers could be a favorites for the championship. They are the team that was able to dethrone Rush Hour. And Rush Hour can beat AI, so if Rush Hour beats AI for Moldy Milkers, and then Moldy Milkers beats Rush Hour, they are going to feel quite good about that. AI going to be that one threat in the final tournament for them. Unless some team like Notif Unks or Logisaurs really step it up, as the teams have pretty much remained the same here. So interestingly enough, this next map is going to be Clash, their Throne of Anubis. We did see MicroFish just win this map in a very convincing fashion last week against Krusty Crushers. Krusty Crushers is like the worst team in the league, so take that with a grain of salt. But they did, in fact, fully cap all the way on E, which is the first time we've ever really seen that. But here they are getting kind of dominated. Different story here. Let me go check something real quick. Let me make sure I updated my standings correctly. Yes, I did. Cool. Are going to be headed to the second point. We're going to see if it happens to them now, as Moldy Milkers have just looked on another level here. They do lose Kiri immediately, which is pretty big. Okay, that's actually huge. MicroFish able to take a fight victory here. Pretty dominant fashion. getting in there. Killing that Kiri early has really helped them out. So we're probably going to see another fight on C here. Going to regain my composure. Go over here. As I don't believe we are going to see a recontest. So, yes, they will get about to this choke before backing off. Now they're going to be holding down this point. 1-1 here. MicroFish got to feel good after that first take, but yikers. Oh, boy. And they go right into the blender. Blender's going to blend. Moldy Milkers doing what they do best. Exterminating teams. And sustaining a lot of damage. So, Moldy Milker's going to go up 2-0 against MicroFish on this map, most likely. We see a good touch here, but yikes. It's a death by Tracer, and this is more than likely just going to end up capping the point and getting a couple staggers here, which is not what you want if you are MicroFish. They are going to be staggered out here. Zen's still alive, but I think he's going to fall pretty shortly here, guys. And that is going to be it. So we're going to see an E on this point, most likely. I mean, there's going to be another push here, but I might be a little ill-advised because now Moldy Milkers hold the point. They are going to take D, and we are going to be moving to E here. I got to be a little bit worried if you're MicroFish, because now Tracer is getting a little bit deep. They are going around, though, so they're going to kind of ignore this Tracer. It's probably a good thing if you're MicroFish. Genji going to dash in. He's getting... Ooh, he's doing a lot of deflect damage, though. Kiri's going to be the first to fall. That's a good start for MicroFish. However, Ramatra has his brutal form, and they're actually winning despite losing their Kiri. So we could see a tick being taken here, at the very least, which would give them another point. Yeah. This is not good as... Oh my word, are we going to see an E-take? Almost. Genji tossing himself down, though, and Zen being the first to fall is not a good sign as the tanks continue doing what they do best. And Kiri's going to be back here, so that's going to be it. Alright, Moldy Milkers already up 2-0 in this one. Really proving why they are the top dogs in this division. One of the best in the league. One more map here, and then we will get to the series I'm really interested in. Logisaurs and Notif Unks coming up next. After this last map, oh, Blizz World, oh no, this is going to take a while, isn't it? MicroFish is first on attack, though, so hopefully this will be a little quicker. I'm hoping for a full hold here. I'm thinking this is what it's going to be like. Get the Christmas version of Blizz World. How festive. Bum, bum, bum. The little snowman everywhere. Look at that guy. He's contemplating his life decisions. My dog is too, apparently. He's barking over there. Probably should get his attention, huh? Alright, can MicroFish put a number on the board? We will have to find out shortly. Moldy Milkers just dominant over the first two maps in this series, so I don't expect much of a fight to be put up by this MicroFish squad, even when it is Christmas. There are some higher odds that you get certain maps with how I have everything set up. I think Blizz World is on that list since it does have a Christmas version. Eichenwald is on that list because it has a Halloween version. So is King's Row. So some of these maps have a little bit higher odds of getting picked. Don't know if that's exactly fair for the league. I might think about changing that, but I'm just going to keep it the same way I have this entire season. So you see a lot of Blizzard World. I feel like this map's like every 5 seconds, man. Okay. Tracer going to come around. Does recall. Brig's going to go down here. Zen's going to fall shortly after. And this is just looking like an easy first fight win for Moldy Milkers. 3 minutes on the clock and 20 seconds. Gonna have to see what MicroFish can get started, if anything. If they can't get anything started, this is gonna be a very quick 3-0. Gonna see another contest coming through here for MicroFish. Zooming on over to the point. Comes Tracer. She's gonna get this engage. Oh, just gonna recall. Zen's gonna be the first to fall, and this is looking. Oh, well, Kiri goes down, but Kiri usually goes down in these fights, so it's not too much of a surprise. Genji's gonna get doomed though, so now it's a 2v2, but Roadhog deals with the Tracer while Genji is dealt with by the Rom, so going to remain holding strong here. The ultimates are about to come online for the side of Moldy Milkers, and this is looking more and more like a full hold. 2 minutes almost have expired from the clock already. Gonna have to see some miracle push coming in from MicroFish if they want a chance at this one. Tracer's gonna find this Doom. He's gonna get healed up though. Oh, Doom's getting in a little bit deep, and he's gonna pay with his life for that one. Could very well go the way of MicroFish here if they put something else together. Zen's gonna fall though, and that's not a good sign. Brig's gonna go down next, so even losing that Doom, with their Kiri still alive, they're able to maintain, and that's just gonna be it. That fight is going to be over. A lot of time has already expired from the time bank here. Oops, getting stuck on the board. Almost 3 minutes have already expired, and the ults are finally building up for both of these squads. The Roadhog ult is here. The Rom ult is here. The Tracer and Blade, so Pulse Bomb and Dragon Blade will be ready for this fight, but I don't know how much value they're going to get. Tracer's going to go down, not good. Genji's probably going to go down here soon. He will. Zen going to be low and brought down. 1 minute on the clock. All the ults on the board for both squads here. Going to be a chaotic final fight. Only a minute left. If they can win this one, they might get something started. Let's see though. Gonna have to invest. They're probably gonna invest every single ult into this, both sides, because that's just how these fights tend to break down. It's gonna be huge if the Brig ult and the Zen ult come at different times. They don't often do that though. No ult so far. Popped. Zen's gonna be falling without using that ult. Uh-oh. No ults used. Not a good sign, and I don't even know if we're gonna see another touch. MicroFish probably just lost the map off that. No ults invested. 15 seconds on the clock. Yeah, they're not even gonna touch. That's it. Full hold coming out from Moldy Milkers against MicroFish. Just another dominant showing from this squad. Proving they are the big hosses in town. That is it. Alright, so this is a 3-0 victory for Moldy Milkers. I don't anticipate a reverse full hold coming out from coming out from the vastly inferior MicroFish. My team will have to suffer a very similar fate against the hands of Rush Hour later today. Really a non-factor match, doesn't mean anything, as Rush Hour already have clinched that #1 seed for Get Good. This match matters a little bit more for seeding and such, but at the same time, I think the seeding is going to stay the same, because I think AI and Moldy Milkers are going to 3-0 both of their matchups that they have remaining after this, so I think it will be AI pretty much secured as that #1 seed, and Moldy Milkers as the #2 seed coming out of this side of the league. However, I believe Moldy Milkers and AI have basically an equal chance. If not, I think Moldy Milkers have a better chance at winning the overall league than AI, because I think a lot of teams in that finals, a lot of teams counter AI. The only team AI counters, I think, is this Moldy Milker squad themselves. So I believe Moldy Milkers holds a big edge over the other teams in Get Good. I would have to say Moldy Milkers are my favorite to win the whole thing. They got that #1 draft pick, and they sent it. They did very good with their draft. I think picking up Mercy was a mistake for me. Should have gone with a high tier DPS instead of getting Mercy. And that is going to be it. 1 fight victory, and that will just be it. 3-0. Very easy for Moldy Milkers, not even breaking a sweat. They fully dominated this MicroFish squad. And that's going to be that. Going on to the next matchup. Really excited for this one.